This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
I'm 5 years away from open gun age.
Should people be able to go to Casey's General Store and buy a rocket launcher?
I'm never listening to your piece of shit show ever again.
I want to bring my rifle.
Well, this is my safety, sir. And he was getting attacked by birds.
Birds aren't real.
He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Hey, Jeff, have you heard about the governor of South Dakota who shot her dog?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so our governor here in South Dakota, Kristi Noem, she was on the list to be Donald Trump's running mate, but she went and pulled an ATF back in the day when she'd gone hunting, I guess, with this dog, and the dog was kind of useless. 14-month-old dog, like pheasant hunting dog, and apparently it did a bad job. And then on the way home, they stopped to visit somebody, and it got out and it killed a bunch of chickens. And then she took it to a gravel pit and she shot it. And then she put it in a book when she's trying to be the vice president.
Yes, because that's what Americans in the modern era are known for.
Yes.
Is their wanted killing of dogs.
Tell us how tough you are by telling us about how you shot your dog.
Correct. Yes, that I love watching a political career die in one sentence.
Oh, her political career is not dead. She's just not going to be vice president anymore. Like, that's not happening. Like, no one's calling for her to resign as governor. That's not happening. And I mean, and it's like, okay, it's a thing that happens on farms.
For country people, this makes sense.
Yes.
For not country people,
yes,
it seems very harsh. I understand both sides to it because, yeah, if this dog is like a terror and like super bad, whatever, but you are communicating to a population that views dogs as like secondary children.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's like, they don't see it as, oh, that was a dangerous dog that needed to be put down. They're like, how dare you shoot your son?
How could you kill Cricket? You killed Cricket. That was the dog's name. Cricket.
Right. And then to like almost like brag about it in the book, it felt
it was weird. And the book's not even out yet.
Right. And it completely backfired because even Trump has come out and was like, no, I'm not. I don't. I like dogs. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And so it completely backfired, which I find hilarious.
And then I guess there's also stuff where she was claiming to have had a sit down with Kim Jong-un. I'm sure journalists will be looking into all of those things relatively soon. But now I did hear a local political podcast that I listened to, a guy I did college radio with back in the day. They were talking about how apparently she's a potential candidate to be president of the NRA.
Ugh. I mean, how could you get worse?
Well, I mean, LaPierre's gone. Like, the president of the NRA isn't, the CEO. These are two different things.
The NRA has already created enough bad blood in this world that even gun owners are like, I would prefer that you guys stop.
This is more of a millennial young Gen Xer thing, though, that recognizes that the NRA is kind of FUBAR.
Right, because for me, my first interaction with the NRA was Wayne LaPierre, the one before, Charlton Heston, holding the gun up in Columbine, Colorado, as saying, "Take it from my cold dead hand." Like, that was I was a first grader, and I was like people just died. Like, that seems really mean. Like, that's not cool. And like, that was my first introduction to the NRA, and it's not gotten better.
All right, so MW Activewear jerseys arrived for the Great Plains match this week. They came in 2 boxes. They're individually wrapped. They got names on them. It's fantastic. If you're having a match, MW Activewear. Link will be in the show notes on this podcast. If you want to get jerseys for Michelle, you'll be happy with them. Promise. We've got a Patreon now, folks. There's an episode that's going to drop on Friday that if you're not a Patreon subscriber, you don't get to listen. So if you like our show, and we do like a whole show, like it's a whole show, go join our Patreon for $3.57 a month. You get 4, well, sometimes you'll get 5 shows a month, 5 extra shows, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's an okay deal. So go join our Patreon, please. The fact that I've done, I don't know how many podcasts since I got out of radio. This is the first time I've been paid at all to broadcast in a year and a half. So almost 2 years. So Patreon / Not Another Shooting Show. Patreon / Not Another Shooting Show. If you got miffed by the basically the episode that dropped on our regular feed and it was an advertisement for the Patreon, I'm sorry. But I'm sorry.
Capitalism,
yeah. Okay, Jeff had a topic here, and I love how it's phrased. Does the Second Amendment mean we should have rocket launchers? If so, what's your go-to? Yes. My go-to would be I had the name up here, the M270 multiple launch rocket system. That's what I would get.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. My buddy Jeremy used those in the Army. He thought they were pretty dope. So that's what I'm going with.
I mean, I was thinking a little more handheld because, like,
well, you didn't specify. You just said rocket launchers. So MLRS, why not?
Well, then if we're at that one, then I want the Panzer 2000.
Okay.
Because I prefer guns to rockets. I don't really have a good reasoning for that. But if we take it down to the individual level, like the conversation around the Second Amendment and its use as a counter to governmental force, Ukraine has taught us that rocket launchers are very important because, IFVs and armored vehicles don't really care if you have an AR-15.
No,
they need more boom boom, and so.
But you don't necessarily have to have that either. I mean, as we found out in the desert over the last 20 years.
Oh, they had a lot of RPGs.
No, they did, but
IEDs.
they also just had like stuff that goes boom. And if there's one thing we have a lot of in this country, it's farming supplies, shall I say, just so
Right.
that AI doesn't find anything weird in this podcast.
I mean,
Farm supplies.
I will say though that in 20 years of war, we lost something like, I think it was 10,000 soldiers between two different wars, and like 8,000 of those deaths were IED related.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, Ukraine and Russia have both probably lost somewhere between 500,000 or 300,000 to 500,000
I know,
men.
it's crazy.
And so, going back to, does the Second Amendment just kind of says arms?
Yeah.
And so, if in the modern context, should people be able to go to Casey's general store and buy a rocket launcher? I know a person who will argue 100% for this. I'm less as an apartment dweller. I don't know that I want my neighbor to have RPG 7s or AT4s, and then they go, "What's this button do?" Mm-hmm. But
I mean, and we start off a lot of our episodes with a story about how some idiot shot themselves.
Correct. And so if we add explosives to this, it would
Yes.
get interesting. But my go-to would be a Carl Gustav, just because I think they're awesome and they're reloadable and they are very effective. And I would like something that's more than a one shot, and I can't afford a javelin.
Well, technically, that's not a rocket launcher. That's a recoilless rifle. So, I just Googled fast and I saw
RPG,
that. That's all.
fine.
I'm just being an asshole. Sorry.
RPG 7 it is.
There you go. Is there any more iconic weapon than that? I mean, the AK-47, the M16, whatever,
and like a PKM, and like a Mauser bolt action rifle. Like
Yeah.
that is the guns or the weapons of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Is every conflict had a dude with a Mauser, an AK variant, or an RPG. Like
pretty much.
And I mean, even to this day, I mean, there's like 7 or 8 civil wars going on right now, and all of them have AKs and RPG 7s.
Yeah. They're interesting. I like it is a fun thought exercise, like, because I do believe in the Second Amendment, but like at some point the public safety concern is real. Like, do I think the stuff that you and I currently have has any business in going away? Obviously not. Do I think it should be expanded a bit? Yes, I do. Certainly when it comes to short-barreled rifles and suppressors, like immediately remove them. But the government doesn't want their money taken away, so they're going to keep charging us $200 every time we buy these. But when it's like rocket launchers, like the tool bags I see in gun stores, I'm like, okay, I believe very firmly in the Second Amendment, but there's like, I'm an instructor, like I've had guns pointed at me, like there's.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in everybody's right to have a gun, but I also believe there are some people who shouldn't have a gun.
Right. It's the double-edged sword of like,
Yes.
I believe that no one should tell me what I'm allowed to do because I'm an expert in this and like I am super responsible. Having been around the general population, I go, no, the Second Amendment's a terrible idea. No one should have a gun. Jesus. Because and like you can take this to like another level. It's like just talking about rocket launchers. Does that include surface to air missiles? Because that's or someone gets mad and is like, oh, I have this AT-4 rocket launcher, I'm gonna go shoot a plane or like stuff like that, and you're like, oh yeah, no, we but at the same time police have MRAPs and you're like, so where does the line get drawn? So that's why it's a fun thought exercise.
Yeah.
And it can lead you down a lot of paths. You're like, didn't even think about that.
I'm most looking forward to the Instagram message I get like, I'm never listening to your piece of shit show ever again. How can you be anti-2A in this time and place and blah blah blah? Like,
do you want Antifa to have AT-4s? Shall like I can
that's
play
not even
it.
it. I'm just saying like they're not hearing what we're saying. We're just having a discussion about a thing. We're not advocating for anything. I certainly would advocate for a lessening of restrictions 100%. Like here, rewind if you got mad, okay? Rewind and listen objectively without getting emotional, okay?
And then figure out which rocket launcher you want.
Yes, then figure out which rocket launcher you would like to buy. Okay, you've had this in for a while about two-gun matches. And the three different types you put in here: brutality, rifle, pistol, and then PCC pistol.
Yes. You've shot rifle pistol, correct?
Yes.
You've never done PCC pistol?
No.
Or did you guys try that one?
We're about to have we're gonna have a couple this fall, like September and October. There's gonna be a couple up here that Josh is gonna do.
Oh, fun! Yeah, because I enjoy these matches. We've discussed before that my club gets a little bit toxic and personalities come out of the woodworks and you will get a lot of tactical people. Mm-hmm. That is a thing that happens.
Do you get less tactical people when it's PCC pistol?
Slightly.
Yeah, because I've got a rifle.
Right. And I got those messages a bunch where we're like, oh, well, I want to bring my rifle. And what's the difference? And it's like, because you can't shoot steel. That's literally that's one of the big reasons. Also, like my club doesn't have long bays, so we can't do like 50 yard, 75 yard steel targets with the rifle. Right, and PCCs are fun. So you only need to bring a case of 9mm and you're fine to go. So the PCC pistol, I had a lot of fun. You learn that stage design. Some people, when they do two-gun matches, they'll design a stage where you shoot the entire stage with the rifle, drop the rifle, shoot the entire thing with the pistol. And you're like, you've just created two stages.
Dumb.
Yep, that happened a couple times. Certain Steven made a stage like this.
Oh, my God.
I won't mention any names. But
is he in a tropical island right now?
Yeah, he's dry firing in his hotel room.
And
like
he's getting
scrub.
attacked by birds.
That was
when
hilarious.
he went for a jog.
Birds aren't real.
No, they're little spy devices.
Exactly.
They're drones.
Precisely. And so I had a lot of fun with PCC one with the idea of like, hey, do PCC stuff in the back and then drop the rifle, go forward. It is very hard to make like options in that type of situation just because like you have to have a dump site.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a point like, hey, I'm dumping this rifle here. And that's common between the rifle pistol and the PCC pistol. Do you know what the brutality matches are?
I've heard of them. I don't know exactly what they are.
So they're a tactical LARPing with like a heavy emphasis on the LARPing side of it, and so
Okay.
like dudes will come in like full like 1941 battle dress with a. I saw one dude shot it with a BAR at one of their matches. Like
Really?
Yeah, he shot it with a full BAR kit, like down to the magazine holders were
That's awesome.
surplus. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the fun ways they do it. But it's so their stages are all time plus, but they all have like a physical element to them. So they're not necessarily accuracy based. Well, I shouldn't say that. They
You got to hang 2 on paper. Well,
Right,
That's accurate.
it's 2 on paper. They do a lot. They use a steel a lot, so they try to reset as little as possible because they get a lot of new people, and it also allows them to have like 100-yard stages because they have 3 pieces of steel, and there's no stage planning. It's like, hey, they'll literally dig trenches into the shooting.
You're not
bays.
kidding. It's heavy emphasis on the LARPing.
Yes, and so like I've seen them do trench runs. I've seen them like assault
That'd
like
be
the
kind
first
of. I've never shot out of a trench. That'd be kind of fun.
right, and so
Yeah.
like they have that side to it where it's like heavy on the LARPing. They had one where you like broke open the door with the battering ram, and then you went through it. And
We did that one at our cop match,
yeah,
like our Cops and Robbers 3 gun.
yep, and they've done that, but they also do ones. Again, they like self-resetting. So one of them, they'll like put a plate rack in the back, and you shoot it with your pistol. You shoot one down, then you ground the pistol into a grounding bucket facing away from the plate rack. You run down, put up one plate, run back, shoot 2 down, ground pistol, run back, and you just do this, and like all their stages are like 90-second par times or something like that, and like that's part of the physicality. Their favorite, it's called the Casarda drill. The guy who made it, his last name's Casarda. You take a kettlebell and you just throw it as far as you can. Wherever it lands, you prone out next to it and hit a steel at like 100 yards. And you just keep throwing it until you make it to the 50-yard mark. And
Oh, Jesus.
yep.
How heavy a kettlebell?
It varies. I mean, they've done up to like 40-pound
Oh
or
my
50-pound
God.
ones. Yeah.
I have no idea how far I can throw a 40-pound kettlebell, but I don't think it's far.
Right. And so the kettlebell is actually kind of the biggest limiter to me because I have a back injury, but like it's an interesting concept because it's like a little more practical than like the tactical games, but with that like, and they'll have like, this year at one of their matches, they had a lever action division. And so they shot cowboy action and so you just ran the stage and you could choose to like drop your rifle and shoot it with your 6-shot revolvers. You could carry 2 of them, and like, yeah, they try to have fun, but their scoring is very brutal. But the one you want to check out though is Finnish Brutality, because
That's the one I've heard of because what's his name? Calvin.
Firepower.
Firepower United.
Yeah, so he went out over and shot that one, and like
In Finland.
In Finland, and so they are like all Finnish men are conscripted because they still are worried about a war, and so like they treat it as a training event, and so they get the Finnish military to bring out like armored personnel carriers for them to work around, and so they did, and I met Ian after he posted the Finnish Brutality video, and I was like, could I have even done that stage? And he goes, no, you wouldn't fit in the BMP. I was like,
that's
okay.
not. There's no competitive equity then.
They don't believe in competitive equity.
Yeah, like just know that going in.
Right. And so it's an interesting concept and actually brings in a lot of new shooters, and like it's terrifying. My friend Nolan shot. They had one at the Brownells range, and he said it was like 6 advanced like experienced shooters and like 70 new shooters.
Oh. Or
And
just
so-
people who'd never done like sort of active moving with guns before.
Correct. Like he
Yeah.
had at least one guy in his squad that DQ'd like on the make ready.
Oh.
And so yeah. you learn that you can only incorporate so many new people.
Yeah,
at a time.
like I'm all about bringing new people in, but it's better to have more experienced people and fewer new people at a given event.
Right. You want one or two new people per squad. Like
Well, I guess it could be more than that. It depends on the event. Like if the event is for the newer folks, then yeah, as long as you've got people who are watching them. But a lot of these, total outlaw, like on their own sort of things, I've heard of things where it's like, it's a training thing. Okay, is it like a class? It's like, not really. A bunch of us go out in the desert and shoot a bunch of shit. And like they're literally following this is my safety, sir. Like safety protocols. And like, that's terrifying. I mean, I also see videos like a few weeks ago, Ben posted a video where people are running, this was like a police or military training facility where he was working or whatever. And like, sometimes there's people downrange when they're shooting,
Yep.
Like they're nearby off to the side pasting, or there's someone else shooting the same exercise as you, but they're just out ahead of you 10, 15 yards, but you're shooting down your lane and bullets are literally whizzing by. And I've seen in the comments by those who also participate in this stuff that it's big boy rules, basically.
I hate that fucking phrase.
I know.
Because everyone at my club who says it are people that I don't trust with firearms. Like if I'm downrange of a grandmaster, I don't feel threatened.
Right,
I'm not,
right.
I'm fine. Lane can shoot an entire stage around me. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a C-class SWAT officer, no, I don't want you to have big boy rules. I don't, because you're not a big boy. Big boy is A-class and above.
Well, I mean, you can be safe and suck at the sport. Like, it's not the same thing. Just because you're an A-class shooter does not equal you are safe. You tend to be safe. But
Right.
you could be perfectly safe and be in D-class.
I've never run into someone who says we're using big boy rules and me go, I feel safer.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And so Brutality actually does some interesting things with that, where like they ground the gun by having a target where the RO sees you drop the mag, then you fire the one shot you have, and if you miss it, you miss it. If you hit it, you hit it, and then the rifle is treated as if it's a stick. So you can put it on your back, you can
sling it empty. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm like, I respect that rule within the context of the way they do it. Like they also don't holster hot. They do the same thing where drop the mag, okay, try to hostage headshot, and then they holster the pistol.
Do they start hot?
Yes.
Oh, okay. They just don't on the clock.
Yeah. They don't ever holster on the clock. Sorry, that's what I meant. So yeah, it's an interesting concept, and I'm like, okay, that does make sense. Like you have seen the last round fired, you confirmed the magazine came out. Technically, it is just a stick at that point. Mm-hmm. So it brings a different mindset compared to like the USPSA, where you're like, there's a laser beam pointed out this muzzle at all times, and if it crosses you, then you're dead.
But there's videos where people are literally like 10 degrees to the right of a muzzle, but that's not breaking the rule because the 180 hasn't been broken.
Correct. So it's a lot of double-sided perspectives, and
going back to rifle pistol and PCC pistol, hit factor or time plus?
Hit factor is superior, but you need to have ROs. Time plus is dumb, and I hate it, but it does run smooth.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to trust someone. All they got to do is walk up and go, yep, there's holes in the target.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. For more than one gun, we did a 2-gun hit factor match, and I won't ever do it again. Like, I agree with you, hit factor is better scoring system, but if you have more than one gun, it's a dumpster fire. You're just better off with time plus for your sanity.
And people underestimate how much longer
if a rifle is involved, it takes so much longer.
Yep, because of the make ready, the unload, show, clear, and then clearing the barrel. Like, because you're literally doing the actions twice plus a walk sometimes. So if you've staged the rifle for some reason, and that's why 3-gun takes forever, is because you spend an extra 2 to 3 minutes per shooter walking up and down, setting up guns.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've heard Time Plus is more efficient. I've never shot an efficient Time Plus match in my life because our 3-gun crew does not do things quickly. And we didn't have problem with our hit factor match. Like, it ran on time.
But it was one gun. It was one gun.
No,
That's the big difference.
We did rifle pistol and PCC pistol as
hit factor.
Or sorry, we did the PCC pistol as hit factor. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because
PCCs are a little easier.
Yeah,
not
the
much,
hole's bigger, but yeah, we haven't done a rifle pistol only because then I have to deal with the 3-gunners again, and I have sworn that off for Lent, and I've considered Lent all year. So my club's able to do it because we probably have 3 ROs per squad. 3 to 4 ROs with a bunch of trusted, like, experienced people that if we got one target in the left, I can be like, hey, call that one out. I don't need to go over there. And that helps speed it up. Like, going back to having enough experienced people versus enough new people. If you got a bunch of new people, you can't have them be calling out, like, is that an edge hit? Does that cross the perf? Blah, blah, blah.
So, like, when you and Steven were up for the night match, we had, let's see, 5 guys, 4 legit ROs, and another 2 that were also, like, we basically had 6 people on our squad of 12 that could score and run shooters.
Yep.
And you and Steven actually kind of got me out of the mode of, like, no, the RO goes and scores everything. But I was so used to, at my club matches, like, I'm usually the only one on the squad. Like, me and one other guy are the only ones who really I trust to know how to score on the close ones. And so I just never allowed anyone else to holler him out. And I'm like, okay, I know that guy's not an RO and he's never ran a timer in his life, but, like, if it's 2 alpha, it's 2 alpha.
Exactly. And you just communicate with newbies, like, hey, if there's a question on
if you're not
please
sure,
call us over.
then bring us over. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's 2 alpha or it's clearly Alpha Charlie, like, but yeah, and so it helps with at my club that we have so much experience and we can kind of get away with that level. And
I don't think my club's quite there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, and it's just it's what you learn. Because for me, like, it felt weird not sitting there being like, okay, you give me those 2, you give me those 3, you give me those 2. And for you, you're like, that's fucking weird. For me, I'm like, this is just how we do it. Like, I didn't know this wasn't how it was done in other places until I started going to other places. And they're like, nope, the RO must see every target. And I'm like, he really doesn't, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working at Area 3 last year, Tracy and I, the way our stage was made, like, we literally needed to break up the scoring.
Yep.
Because it was just way too inefficient for me to go around to every single target, because there was times where I would have to walk all the way around a couple of walls and then have to back all the way out to go again.
Yep.
And it was just horribly inefficient. Plus, we had one target that kept getting forgot to be pasted. And so we... After like halfway through the first day, we would put one person in the squad in charge of, your job is to stand here and guard this target, and then when we score it, you paste it. Like, this is your only job. You don't have to do anything else with the reset. Your job is to do this. When you're like 3 shooters away, give it to somebody else.
Yep.
And they're like, okay. And I was very stern about it, but it was like, we missed it so many times, and almost I think every reshoot we had was because of that.
Yep.
That target didn't get pasted.
That's always super frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're recording on Sunday. I taught a rifle class today.
Oh, very fun.
And we had 8 guys signed up, 6 showed up, which always amazes me. That and one of them even paid his range fee yesterday and didn't show up today. So I hope he's okay. I didn't hear from him.
Right. That's remarkable.
It really is. Like, dude, the number of people who have signed up for a class from me and paid for it as much as $125, and then they never showed up. It's amazing how much it happens. But anyway, so interesting thing in the rifle class I taught today was a friend of mine who is he's a very good USPSA shooter. He's an A-class shooter. Like, he knows what's up. He knows how to hit stuff with his pistol.
Right.
But he'd never done a lot of rifle, and he is in a law enforcement job, And so he hadn't done a lot of rifle stuff. And so he was like, hey, and he's also gotten into instruction. Like he's become one of the trainers where he works. So
Nice.
he also just wanted to start like just see another instructor do stuff. And he'd only ever seen me in a permit class. So so he took the class, and there was the thing that was amazing was we were basically doing practical accuracy at like 50 yards. And his target looks terrible. He's got like 4 bullets on the far left, and every other shot he fires off the target. And we were shooting another like multiple target and then movement. Like you would shoot 2 targets, then run forward. It was basically entry exit.
Yep.
And I just happened to be looking at his target, and I saw the bullets landing like a foot left of center of the target off the target. And he had like, at one point he left the range and like went and checked zero on his rifle. And cause like he was too good a pistol shooter. I could not believe it was him.
Right.
We found out it was him. It wasn't the gun. It wasn't the optic.
I am baffled by this.
Here's the thing. And this is a thing that has been, it like how you do things with a gun. Like the way one person says it works for some people, and the way another person says it works for other people. Okay? So like when you and I took a Ben Steger class and I was doing the old pushing into the gun and the bullets are going low left, I'm like, and a very standard thing is like, try loosen up your firing hand. Okay? Well, I had it about as loose as it can be, and the only thing squeezing the gun is my support hand, and like it wasn't better. And in time, what I learned, like the way I articulate it usually and the way it worked for me in my head and my hand was I grip it, and like it's not that my hand is like I'm crushing it like I am with my support hand, but like I'm gripping it firmly, as firm as it can, so that when I press the trigger, my hand really can't move anymore. So like I don't have like a super loose grip with my firing hand shooting a pistol. I really don't. It's relatively firm. It's not as firm as my support hand, but it's relatively firm. But still not too firm that I can't have the dexterity to run the trigger fast. Well, this guy, he basically, his firing hand has been a wet noodle for a long time, and it's worked great for him.
Right.
And he just is absolutely crushing the gun. Like all of the support is his support hand. All of it. Like he's not really squeezing with his firing hand at all. It is just a trigger operator. And what stood out to me was even just my evolving of how I think about it. But he had a very loose hand on the gun, and even with a rifle that you've got 3 points of contact on, he was pushing the gun off the target if he was more than like 15 yards from it. Just with his firing hand.
That's insane.
I know. And then I said, try squeezing the grip and then shoot the gun. And he's like, it worked.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because like I have my line of thinking is like I'm very good at shooting a pistol, and so when I pick up a rifle, I'm just doing pistol shit with a rifle. Like, and so
but there are differences. Like you're not wrapping one hand around the other when you're shooting a rifle.
Right, but I guess I don't actually grip like you guys talk about, because like I'm larger than the average bear, and so like I think I squeeze my left hand a little bit, but like I don't know, like I didn't have an issue.
Very large, strong people don't have to try hard. I mean, they
Correct.
can try not hard enough. Like I've seen that, like really strong dudes just not squeezing hard enough. But
for sure, it baffles me because like I do zero work with my rifle. Like me and Lane go out twice a year, and we call it Tactical Abomination. And it's normally because it's so cold that we don't want to deal with our pistols, and we just do rifle things for like a couple hours. And that's the entirety of my rifle shooting for an entire year. And like my rifle shooting has kept up with my pistol shooting. Like at our rifle hit factor match, I came in third to Lane, and
a really speedy 3-gunner, dude.
And a really speedy 3-gunner with a steel cased ammo, and a basic ass bitch setup. Like, and so it's so surprising me that that as an A-class shooter he was that like in his niche, that even when he went somewhere else he was still doing like the same thing. Even though he's like, I now have 3 points of contact with this rifle. You know what I'm going to do? Squeeze the shit out of it with my other hand.
I mean, but like his hand was just like loose on the firing on the pistol grip. It was just like on there tight enough for his finger to reciprocate. That was all the tighter it was. And if your hand's really loose, like you can really move it around a lot. And it was like a 16-inch carbine sort of gun, and it was amazing how far off he was. And he's a good shooter with a pistol.
Yeah, that is remarkable.
I know, but it just kind of goes to show like how articulating how to do something with a pistol, it does work for some people, and it like telling me to loosen up my firing hand is not how to fix me from pushing into shit. Like
right.
my hand needs to be tightened up. Now, whether or not that has to do with anatomy or what gun you're shooting, I don't think the gun you're shooting matters. I think anatomy could matter,
right.
more than anything. Because like your hands are so freaking big, like if you just squeeze it at all, it's like it's not going anywhere.
Right, but also can't shoot any gun but a CZ without having to change my grip at this point, because I have such a high grip and such big hands that I was like, oh, I'm going to get a DWX, and like some dude had one at a match. I'm like, oh, here, let me dry fire, and like I was in a safety area and like
frame mounted safety.
No, I formed my grip and my support hand thumb was sitting on the slide.
But it's the same frame as the Shadow 2 pretty much, isn't it?
No. It's a slide. So the Shadow 2 has an internal slide.
Right.
Yeah. So it's super tiny at the top, and so my thumbs have gotten used to sitting on that big ledge.
Yeah. Okay.
With the DWX, that's the slide.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I have retarded a slide before this way. It pissed me off and I almost threw a 1911 over a berm. So maybe this gun isn't for me.
No, it was just a very interesting thing I observed, and I know he won't care that I was talking about that at all, because he was as like he knows what's up for the most part. Like he knows what he's doing with a pistol.
Yeah.
Like he's beat me at matches before, but he's like, compared to me, he shot like pretty much zero rifle, like very, very, like he has a couple of ARs, but like he shoots them once a year. And, it was I found it fascinating. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I also, I did a private intro class for some gals that all work together. They're all nurses for trauma surgery.
Okay.
Like they're in the trauma department. So like something comes, it's usually ER stuff that then, after the ER gets done with them, then they go to the OR for, like emergency trauma surgery.
Yep.
And they were telling me all these crazy stories. Like one was how a doctor walked in and a guy had this will be gun related eventually, but he walked in and had a gear shifter from an old tractor through his neck, and he was talking.
Hell yeah.
And the doctor walked in and said, "Oh, that's from a Farmall F-15." And they all looked at him like, and my question was, does that happen a lot? and they laughed, and they're like, no, he was just like he grew up on a farm and he's a tractor nerd. So he just happened to know what this was. I'm like,
he has that kind of autism.
Yeah. For tractors, he does. Like, I was like, this doctor sees a lot of old tractor gear shifters go through necks. Holy shit, this is crazy. And then one of the gals go, I showed this video of a guy who he holsters a pistol appendix, and then he bends over and boom, the gun goes off. And this one gal goes, oh yeah, we had like this 19-year-old kid who blew the head of his penis off one time right before Easter.
Oh no.
And I'm like, how'd it look? She's like, it wasn't good. And I was like, wow. Now, so they see, and then of course they see like the worst of the worst as well. Like because they would talk about all the self-inflicted, but most of those, like 99% were intentional. So that's like a different thing, obviously. But here and there, they get the old, Well, and I asked them, I was like, what's the number one excuse when they shoot themselves? I was cleaning my gun and it just went off.
Yep.
I was cleaning my gun and it just went off. Now, the kid that shot himself in the dick, he didn't claim to be cleaning it. He was trying to I think he was trying to shove it in his pants, and the trigger got pulled by something and it shot his dick off. So that was just sort of a funny little anecdote I had from class a couple weeks ago. That
no, I'm gonna be more careful when I holster up.
Yeah, definitely. Careful holstering for sure. So you did not shoot a match. Wasn't this the match you were running?
Yeah, those minor details.
Oh, okay. So you didn't make it.
No.
So we don't have to ask how you did.
Correct. Okay. Because I wasn't going to do well anyways, because it was my best friend's daughter's wedding, and I was not going to sacrifice my fun just because I had to shoot in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And the fun got a little more intense than I planned, and I woke up to someone calling me at 8:15, and I just sent it to silent and went back to bed. I was like, nope, I don't, because in my defense, it wasn't all classifier match. I sent them the classifiers, told them what bays they were to be set up in, and there was at least 3 people there that could technically run the match. I was not actually that necessary, and I wasn't going to shoot very well because my hangover. I'm attempting hair of the dog right now.
How's that going?
I don't know. It's going okay.
It's okay. It was an all classifier USPSA match.
Yes.
So first USPSA match of the year at your club.
Correct. First and only.
25 shooters with 1 DQ.
Yep.
How many would you normally have? For a classifier match.
Classifier matches are normally pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can actually look that up right this second. Because people like trying to class up. It's a thing that everyone loves to do because why practice when you can just take the test over and over again? So
I love that sentiment.
Yes, in 2023 we had 61 shooters.
Okay, so triple pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, then there was, 10 or so were people who just were either shooting other matches or had other things they were doing. They told me that. So it's so we lost about half maybe. But I don't know that was necessarily related to the whole rebellion thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's weird. I've had matches where because I love Pro-Am, and I've had matches where I had 1 squad, and I've had matches where the match fills up.
I want to ask you a question about Pro-Am because this Robert up here and I were talking about Pro-Am. It would be fun to run that, but it takes a lot of steel. How much steel? How many stages do you guys run when you do a Pro-Am?
So we run 5 stages.
Okay. How many targets per stage?
See, that's the fun of the game. So what makes Pro-Am interesting is the par time. So I've had stages with 10 pieces of steel. I've had stages with 30 pieces of steel. I try to limit the 30 pieces of steel ones as much as possible.
Eats up all your steel.
Correct. I've also, so the match I was talking about where we only had 1 squad, we only set up 3 stages plus the tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker you can use steel challenge plates because it's just time. It doesn't matter. And we ran 2 of the 3 stages twice. We just changed the start position and the par time.
Oh, so it's a way around a lack of steel.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could set up 2 stages or 3 stages, and you could have only 15 shots possible. But if it's 1 or 2 pieces of steel in 7 different positions, that could get a little sporty.
Yeah.
Because people like large clusters of steel. because you just go bing, 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 bing. But at the end of the day, like there's not a lot of shooting challenge to it, and so like we had one this last time, and it was there was no position with more than like 4 plates in it, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 or 6 positions, so yeah, you could make a stage with 18 pieces of steel and run it from 2 different positions with 2 different par times, and it will be a completely different stage because the par time is what gives you the anxiety.
Yeah, because every makeup, it's like fuck, shit, fuck, shit,
right.
Fuck.
For those of you who don't know what Pro-Am is, Pro-Am par time is set based off of basically I run it without a gun. I just air gun it like I hit every single shot, and so I might add a second or two if I'm like that. It seems even a little sporty considering what I did. But it's supposed to be that you went 1 for 1, and you on your best day you could clear it. And technically, if there's 1 plate left standing out there for every single shooter, that's fine.
Okay,
like,
so the idea is that you don't. It's usually not cleared.
Right. That's the intention, is because you want that.
You want to get
anxiety.
You want the good shooters to get close, but not quite finish. Is that
Correct.
sort of the goal? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And so the goal is to we actually use 2 different timers. So we have a pro time and an AM time. And the official rule is like if you're A class or above, you have to go pro, but everyone's welcome to try pro. And AM is just pro with like 20 to 30% more time put on it. And what we find is the pros and the AMs finish at the same point in the stage. And so they were presented the same amount of challenge, but the time was just less for the more advanced shooters. Because if we just did the pro time, the C class shooters are going to be like, I fired 8 bullets. This was BS. And you're like, I don't know, get better. Like Pro-Am is hard mode.
Okay. It seems less daunting to actually get the steel for one now because we have a fair amount of steel. We don't have enough to run a whole Pro-Am match, but now that you said, well, sometimes we'll just like switch the start position around or change the order, and yeah, we could come close then. I think if like the 2 clubs here did that, we could totally do it, but I also just want to get more steel for our club, so it would be an excuse to get more steel. So,
yeah.
And steel is more entertaining in every way.
Correct.
Like it's more entertaining to watch. It's more entertaining to shoot. It's just all around better.
Pro-Am, if
not necessarily better. It's more fun in every way.
Well, if you were trying to put a shooting sport on TV, Pro-Am is the one you'd want to put on there.
It must be Falling Steel.
It must be Falling Steel because everyone can watch that and go, hey, he knocked down that many. Uh-huh. Okay. I understand. That's and there's no okay, well the points here, like technically he's the top for like right now, but like if this dude shoots it faster, then like he loses these points. Like, no, he knocked that down that many. The one bad thing about it though is if you have one bad stage, like you're done. It's very unforgiving.
It's unforgiving, yeah. Well, but that's a fun way of doing it too. Like, it's not like points per stage, where it kind of like you're only penalized for your bad stage, not the whole match. But I don't know. I think that sort of like need for perfection is not the right word, but like need for a really good day. I don't know. It's a fun test.
Yeah, I love it. It's one reason it will be the only match that I'm match director for going into the future because I don't want anyone to mess with it. It's fun. It's awesome.
So you didn't go to the classifier match, but you did go watch a movie.
I did.
What movie?
Civil War.
Oh, is that out?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was out. I thought that was coming out this summer.
No, it's out. Me and my buddy Jay don't
spoil it. I want to. Don't. I mean, is there a big spoiler, or is it just kind of like a movie you would expect, or was it sort of different?
I won't give any spoilers away, but there's just some kind of funny parts to it that as gun nerds.
Oh yeah,
that made me go, oh no, don't do that. Because like, so one thing, and I actually only found this out like Googling the movie at a different time, was normally movies use what are called quarter blanks when they're shooting, which means that they only have a quarter of the powder to make the noise and get the gun to function. They used full blanks. And Jay served in Iraq, and like he's a Marine that has done real shit. One of the first gunfights, we both about jumped out, and like there may have been some hands going to some shirts for a second there, because we were like, holy shit! Oh, okay, it's the movie. Okay, got
like
it.
The sound system like freaked you out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Because the gunshots are loud. Like it is intense, and they're like the gun handling in it is definitely interesting, because like there's one scene, and it was like, so this isn't really a spoiler. You're following a journalist like through a war zone, and it's supposed to be a civil war in America, but these journalists get way too close, and they're like in like the front almost.
Oh.
And so like
people who try to take pictures of buffalo.
Exactly. Well, like they're like clearing this building, and the journalists are like in the stack with them. And I'm like, no, there's no way that you are stacked up in a gun battle. And you're like, hey,
God.
Journalist, follow me. And it was funny because they enter this building, and I don't, for one clarifying thing, you don't know what the motivations are. So it never tells you.
Oh, you don't know what the war is about?
Correct. There's like one line in the entire movie and it was like, hey, why don't you ask the president why he went for 3 terms? Like that is like the only line about motivation, because it's Texas and California are in charge of this, the rebellion, and there's a Florida rebellion as well. And so there is a scene where these guys are in like, I don't know if they're supposed to be Boog Boys, but they're in like Hawaiian shirts, and they're like having a gun battle or whatever, and they're like going up these stairs, and at one point they're like they're sneaking around all quiet and shit, just like do, and then they turn their flashlights on as they're about to go through the door, and they're just pointing these flashlight beams through the door, and both me and Jay look at each other and we're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You just like snuck up there. And so yeah, it for like a gun movie, it's decent, but it will piss you off. Like, and like, again,
Hey,
I don't want to spoil
by the way, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for it. South Dakota, Nebraska are at war, motherfucker. Like, I'm part of the New People's Army. You guys you're one of those loyalist states. You're basically the redcoats. Screw you, Nebraska and Iowa and Kansas and Missouri, Minnesota and South Dakota and North Dakota. We're in the New People's Army with Utah and Wyoming and Montana, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington.
Yeah, sure. I don't even know if
it's
you guys
funny you
get
say
mentioned.
that, though. I'm looking at the map, though, and California, it's literally California and Texas are like their own thing. And then the Florida Alliance is like basically the South, minus a couple of coastal states. Correct.
And so, like, yeah, like, I don't even know that the New People's Army gets mentioned. Like, it's they're as a gun nerd, as a military history nerd, or like a military nerd, you're going to be like, wait a second. Nope. What? But like, it was an interesting concept and perspective from the idea of like what a civil war on like American soil will look like. And that's kind of what they were going for.
Yeah.
Like they weren't trying to send a message about, oh, this is leading to a civil war.
What could happen? Yeah.
Right.
No,
it's more.
I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I thought it was an interesting idea for a movie, because like, a show I liked it's really not that good, but I still liked it, was Jericho.
Oh, I love that show.
Some of the writing is kind of bad because it's like the old formula, network television. It's not like the show's fault. It's just it was in that paradigm.
Yeah, it came out in like 2006 or something like that.
But like the story overall was like really interesting. There's a nuclear attack on the U.S. and then this small town in Kansas called Jericho is just in the dark. It's in western Kansas. Like they see the nuke go up in Denver from where they are in Kansas, and it's like, and then the EMP hits, like everything's out, and it's a pretty interesting show. And then it turns into like this micro civil war between two towns in Kansas because they've basically gone back to the 1800s with leftover 20th century technology.
Yep.
And it's a pretty interesting show. It's on Paramount Plus if you want to watch it.
Yep.
But like those sorts of shows I find interesting. And this show also looks pretty interesting. Now I understand where you got all these topics from because I didn't realize that movie was coming out this weekend. So the other things you wrote down, in addition to that, what was I lost it. Where did it go? Oh, your civil unrest loadout.
Yes. Your full LARP gear.
Yes.
What are you wearing?
Well, okay. Do I have to currently own it? I think we should go with what we currently own.
Okay.
As opposed to, okay. So I have a plate carrier, but no plates.
Yep.
Which sounds kind of stupid, but like I was going to be doing a law enforcement class, like a law enforcement instructor class last year, and I wasn't going to buy like the police vest. So I got that in lieu of that. So, because the class required some sort of vest for stuff.
Yep.
So I've got that. I can put mags in that. I will be getting plates for it at some point, but I'll probably still use it because it'll be handy. Obviously, I'm going with an AR. Like I'm gonna have one with me. Am I gonna suppress it? No, because I'm gonna prefer to not have to use it. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
I'm obviously going to have a Glock with a backup Glock in the bag. In case, I have a right-handed Safariland holster that I'll just leave the Glock 19 in, and I'll have like either a 17 or a 34. Not my 20. I only have like 15 rounds left for that. Oh, that's something I got to talk about here too. I shot some doubles with the 20.
Hell yeah.
That was interesting. I've got I honestly don't know. I've got lots of ammo, so like as many mags as I can carry and put in a backpack. And I've got some freeze-dried food that would probably be in there. And I've got a folder knife and a fixed Benchmade for skinning deer and butchering deer. I haven't really thought this out very far. I'm gonna grab some of my shit and
right. Well, because that's the honest answer.
Yeah, like I'm just being honest. Like
because mine's no better. Is like
because you're gonna be like with either an M&P or a Shadow 2. Like, do you go M&P or Shadow 2?
I'm not carrying my pistols. See, that's a mistake. That's a mistake Americans make. You don't use pistols. In this type of situation, I'm doing rifle shit. And so I'm bringing an AR with as many magazines as I can. Like you said, I'm going to load up a backpack. I might even take my Safariland like holster off of my belt. But like I also have a plate carrier, but I'm worse than you. I have steel plates.
Oh.
So but I have a reason for it. The reason I got
for working out.
No, for working at the homeless shelter that we called the Stab House. So I wasn't worried about getting shot. I was worried about stabbing. And so I was like, I'm just going to get steel plates.
And a knife could... Well, yeah, you don't really need ceramic stuff that's lighter or the poly plates or whatever.
Right. I mean, I'm a large dude, but I was like, hey, 30 more pounds and like steel plates in case I need to like body check someone against the wall. Not a bad option. And so I would probably take the plates out of that just to be like, hey, not worth it. I also have like a chest rig that carry like 3 or 4 mags, but like I'm getting my rifle. I am grab my pocket knife, grab a flashlight, and then my plan would be to like get all my stuff into my truck and then start driving to my dad's property in the middle of nowhere and have a pint and wait for it all to blow over.
Yeah. No, as far as flashlights too, I'm set on flashlights. I've got my little Streamlight micro USB. I can recharge that in the vehicle. I've got a big Energizer. It's pretty bright and it's a rechargeable.
Yep.
And then I've got like it's like Energizer's version of like a Streamlight or what's the expensive military brand? Surefire. Yeah, it's basically Energizer's version of that. It's a real bright flashlight. It's good. It costs like $20, you know. I've got those. I disagree about the pistol because like you said you're going to do rifle shit. Well, I'm a lot better at doing pistol shit. And like even when I'm playing Call of Duty, like I enjoy it when I'm doing pistol shit like at the beginning of the survival modes on the old Call of Duty 3. Like
I do too.
I enjoy the pistol stuff. And what if I can't be dealing with a rifle right now? You know?
I think
I want to have it along. I can have it on the sling. I can have it with me.
I think that's I think it's a bit of whataboutism.
Okay, but
because
I'm just bringing a pistol that all I have to do is leave it in my belt. That's all I got to do. It's just got to be there.
Yeah, and it's bulky and it adds weight that could be taken up by more rifle mags. I'm just
I don't disagree, but
from talking with dudes in the military, like ask them how many rounds through their pistols they fire.
They were at war. They weren't in civil unrest.
Tomato,
like,
tomato.
I think it would be different. Like I might need to like carry a bunch of shit. If I put down my rifle, now I don't have my rifle. Now I don't have any gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about it being more of like a more Walking Dead than Civil War. You know, like civil unrest is civil unrest. It could come in any form.
And that's the vagueness of the question is like you have to be in a very specific situation, because like the houses that got blown over in the tornado last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Did they shoot their guns at the tornado?
No, looters were going through their stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you're like, bro, like, come on now. Like they called out like the National Guard to defend the area and to like also to prevent looky-loos from coming because like the emergency vehicles couldn't get there because all the looky-loos wanted to drive through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a different loadout for, hey, a tornado just flattened this area, and oh, hey, little green men are jumping off jumping off their landers.
Yeah, like, I mean, like if it's getting real western where I'm gonna like try and go west and get to where it's real desolate, like I'm bringing 2 guns, period. I don't care.
Well, are you walking or are you in a car? Because I'm going to throw all my guns into a bag and toss them in the back of my truck. Like they're coming with. I just don't want to carry them if I have to walk anywhere.
Right. I don't know. I'm used to having a pistol on my hip. I'm gonna have a pistol on my hip. Like my tendency is to go for that first.
Right. I'm the same way. Like people are like, "Oh, what's your home defense rifle?" And I'm like, "It's my Smith & Wesson M&P."
Yeah. It's my Glock 20. Okay, speaking of that, so I shot doubles with the Glock 20.
That sounds miserable.
Remember how I said how nice it is to shoot a 10 millimeter? Like it feels like it's softer than a 40?
Yeah.
I was wrong. Now, that's just when you're like shooting single shots with somebody else's pistol and it's like, oh yeah, this is fun. Wow, I can't believe how much this doesn't kick. And then when you actually like load up a couple of mags full and like actually like I was shooting like 5-yard doubles, like running it's still totally stock as fast as I can. Yep. And like I got all alphas, like I'm shooting real nice and tight. It's leaving holes in the paper that are just like clean, like wad cutters. And when I got done with the second mag of doubles, like my forearm bones were like, what are you doing? Like there was a definite difference. Now, in terms of like, if I had to like shoot at a bear charging me or a bad guy in my house or whatever, like it's fine. Like I can handle it. But like to train or shoot a match with that gun is going to be worse than a 40.
Yeah,
for sure. And that's just with the soft ass Winchester 1080 ammo. Like
there's
the
a
box
reason
velocity was 1080.
Right. There's a reason 40 Short and Weak was created. It's this exact reason.
Yeah, but like I have heard that a lot of the factory 10mm ammo is not like the Plinkin stuff. It's
not spicy.
No, not even close to spicy. And like it took a while, and I only really noticed it shooting doubles, where it was like, oh, I feel this in my bones. Okay, it's kind of like when a Full House 357 Magnum goes off.
Right.
Like, oh, this is not a 38 special for sure.
Yep.
So it was interesting shooting doubles. Like you can shoot it like a 9mm, but it's a different animal for sure, without a doubt. Okay, did we hit everything? I think we pretty much hit everything. Let's hit the Reddit. Reddit guys, like you guys were killing it for a couple of weeks, and now it's like you're getting bored. We're sorry if we're boring you, but. We didn't have quite as much, but we had some good ones. Have double action striker fired guns reached parity with single action guns, such that rules distinctions between them should be revised? I didn't know there were that many, like when someone says double action striker fired gun.
I think he's misspeaking there.
No, I don't think he is, because I actually started Googling around when I read that. And there are some like legit double action striker fired guns. Like the first one I thought of that I knew about was the Taurus 24/7. Like that's like a legit double action first trigger press. And then after that, it's like a DASA gun, but it's a striker fired gun. It's kind of weird.
Okay, because is that okay?
But the Walther P99 and the OG Canic with the decocker button, like those are double action.
Right.
And they had it because it was basically in single action after the first one, I do believe. I'm not 100% sure.
Right. It just like cocks the striker. And then from then on, the recoil does it.
Yeah.
Or the side reciprocation.
And then I also saw someone else, I was looking through a forum just trying to find it. Like, I know about those two. Like, I've handled those two guns. They're essentially the same gun. The CZ100, Smith & Wesson 990, I never heard of those. I don't know. Those are something else. But someone said the P320, is that, like, double, like, you're cocking the striker as you're pulling the trigger?
No.
Because you are with Glocks.
Well, and that's why I think he misspoke, because every gun you just listed is either not in production or is from the late 90s, early 2000s.
With the exception of the Glock.
Right. So, and Glock isn't a double action.
Well, not really, but like you're still cocking the striker when you're pressing the trigger. Like it's technically double action. Like some departments would have something about it.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get down to really annoying minutia, like yes, it's partially cocked, and when you press the trigger, you're finishing cocking it. So you could claim double action.
Right. So I'm going to answer this question with the idea that he meant to say polymer frame
just striker fired guns. Okay, that's a simpler question. Yeah,
single action guns, such that rules distinction between them should be revised. And I disagree, but I haven't done a lot of shooting with the Canic steel frame, because that's the only striker fired steel gun there is. So the problem we run into is not necessarily the action, but the weight of the guns, because like Shadow 2's 1911s, I believe should be in the same category.
Yeah,
I have no problem.
No,
I put it more like, I don't care what your action type is. Like, I have no problem with the double action, but that's as a masterclass shooter. Of course, I don't. It's what I do. But like, I'm a weight differentiator. Like, I believe plastic guns should be over there and steel guns should be over here, and like the tungsten infused plastic should be with the steel guns. Like, there should be a weight limit at like 28 ounces or 32 ounces or whatever a heavy polymer frame pistol.
I think that 32 ounce number is interesting, because that would put like Berettas in with the.
Okay, then 28
with the CZs.
Oh yeah. That's my goal. Is anything that is has steel frame to it.
Berettas are aluminum frame. They're a lot lighter. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
Metal frame. If it has a metal frame,
Okay.
it's in one side.
What if it's a metal frame and it weighs the same as a polymer gun, like the M&P aluminum gun?
Oh,
That dumb thing.
that abortion. We're like, hey, can you make a steel frame?
Oh, we made a metal gun. We made a metal gun. It's aluminum. What? No one
Yes.
asked for that.
Correct. And so
We don't like it because it's metal. We like it because it's heavy.
right, exactly. So I personally believe that the action type doesn't matter that much.
No.
Single actions get a rep to them because the triggers are just so nice on them.
But I can fuck up a single action trigger as fast as a Glock. So
exactly, and
and having messed around with my Taxport Orange and my Glock, like I shoot them both equally well in different ways. But I can screw up either one.
yeah, and a Walther, a Canic, or a Smith & Wesson with a Apex trigger.
There is another steel frame striker gun though, the PDP steel. That's relatively new, but there is another one.
Stupid Walthers and their PDPs. So I don't think that there should be a distinction between them. I think the LO-CO division is dumb. I believe that it should. If you're going to have LO and CO, it should be based on weight. I don't believe you should have magwells, and it should be all the steel frame boys are playing, or all the metal frame boys are playing with each other, and all the polymer frame boys are playing with each other, and they're complete. They're like, that's why I like Todd's hit factor rules, is because the 15 rounders can be the polymer frame boys, and then the steel boys can have the big mags if you need more differentiation.
Well, there isn't actually a weight limit though in his rules, is there?
Not yet.
Okay.
There's a conversation around it, but
I honestly don't think even the weight limit is that big a deal. Like, is a heavier gun nicer to shoot? Yes. Is me shooting my Tac Sport instead of my Glock, if I could shoot it in CO, would it matter?
right.
Not really. Yes. I'm not going to score better. I think the gun can, on the high end, give you like 1 or 2%, and if you're on the high end, like 1 or 2% actually matters a lot.
Yeah.
And when I say high end, I mean like nationally competitive high end. Like, I think once you get up there, it really matters a lot. I think if you shot your M&P at a match, I don't think you're gonna like finish worse because you shot your M&P.
Right.
So,
But it, like shooting the night match, it was maybe I hadn't practiced with it, so I was a little bit off with it, but I was still finishing near Steven. Like, we weren't that separated. It was more my bad stage planning and
yeah,
not
that was
executing.
that. Yeah, you were like not paying attention is pretty much why he beat you.
Pretty much. Yep. Zoned out. So
okay.
Moving on.
Yeah. Somebody said 10 millimeter limited optics major when. I'm kind of tempted to just shoot it in open. Put an optic on it, shoot it in open. It makes major by miles.
Be an expensive match.
But then they also said shooting differences between 9mm and 10mm. I kind of mentioned it already. It's not... Well, the biggest difference is also what I mentioned last week, is the gun's just bigger. It's just thicker. Everything about it is bigger. In terms of actually shooting it, it shot just like my 9mm Glocks. It really did. Like, in terms of how the recoil impulse moved my hands and whatnot, like, it was exactly the same. It was just more intense every time it went off, if that makes sense.
Yep.
The gun, it recoils like a Glock. It just recoils harder. That's all.
Yep.
That was pretty much it. And another question, why shouldn't LO and CO be combined into one division? I don't have... I can't refute that. I don't think there should have been two divisions. They should have just let single actions in.
Yep.
That would have been the better solution. But
it would. Yep. No magwells. Just hey. Yep. You can have your single actions, and I would still be hammered down and start with a double action.
And I've heard that we couldn't do that. Well, USPSA could have that was an option. In fact, I recall it being one of the options in the survey when they did the survey. So
yep.
It could have been how it was done. But then we'd have to wait a year before people could start actually shooting it in matches, because if it's an equipment change, then it has to have a year delay, which I don't disagree with. I think equipment changes should have a year delay. But the fact that provisional divisions can just be like, and it's still provisional technically, so it can still be screwed with very easily. So, or it could be eliminated. But yeah, if limited optics becomes a thing, then everybody's just going to move to limited optics. Like, I'm resigned to that. I don't think there's anything that would make CO a thing, really, in terms of competition. Like, yeah, it could be turned into an actual carry gun division, but unless it's basically what production used to be, and I don't think most people will want to do that anyway.
Right.
Including myself. Like, I did find it fun shooting production. Like, when you and I shot production nats that year, like, yeah, it was fun. But for the most part, I'm getting older. I got more gray hair. Like, I'm 5 years away from open gun age, you know? It's I'm not gonna go back to millennial production. It was a very millennial division, wasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, it was very, very, very populated by that generation. I'm like on the back end of Gen X, so like I don't really belong anywhere. But anyway, again, if you want to hear another show this week, we have another show for you this week. It's on our Patreon. It'll be on our Patreon, patreon.com/notanothershootingshow. $3.57 a month. You get an extra show every single week. So that's better than one a week. It's like twice as many shows.
Yeah.
There you go. MW Activewear, link to Michelle is in our show notes for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I really want to go see that Civil War movie now. It kind of...
Do it.
Did you ever see the remake of Red Dawn?
Yes.
Did you like it?
No.
I didn't hate it, but it was kind of dumb.
Yeah, when they're like riding the Humvee with the minigun onto the base, just like blasted, and you're like, no.
But I mean, I don't like. I can suspend disbelief for that kind of stuff. I just didn't like how it was. I don't know. It was just so much cheesier than the original. Spoiler alert: I did like that they killed Jed towards the end.
Yep.
Because it was like a big departure from the original. You know, I wish they would have had it. I mean, the whole thing was pretty much a big departure from the original, so it was different in that way. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see the Civil War movie. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Patreon.com/notanothershootingshow. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.